Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Curly Bookworm and I'm Shivani. We're talking about The Sun is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. This book was seriously one of the best young adult books that I've read in a really long time. So it has two protagonists. It has Natasha, who is from Jamaica, and then it has Daniel, who is Korean American. Natasha wasn't born in America, but she lives in America in New York right now, and so does Daniel, but Daniel was born American. This book follows the story of Natasha and Daniel through a day where they meet and fall in love, and this is a crazy day because it's the day that Daniel is going to interview for Yale, like a pre-interview, and Natasha is going to figure out how she can stay in America. She's being kicked out of America because she is an illegal immigrant. So I'm going to tell you why you should read this book or why I love this book. There are no spoilers in this. I'm literally just talking about the stuff that I liked in this book. If only to convince you to go read this book. It's so good. It's so good. Reason number one, the writing. Oh my god, it was insanely good. So this book is told through different perspectives. It's told through Natasha's perspective, it's told through Daniel's perspective, then it has these little notes in the book. But it's so much fun format wise because you get to know what the author is thinking too in a whole bunch of ways, because while she's writing Natasha or writing Daniel, she's also writing a whole bunch of other people, and you get to know what Nicola Yoon is like to a certain extent. There was a lot of the author and the author's opinions that were coming out. I feel like that about Chimamanda, although the genres are so different. I feel like all of Chimamanda's books have so much of her and her thought and her ideology that comes out. This book is also a very thought-provoking book. There's a lot of stuff that she writes in terms of race, obviously, in terms of immigration, in terms of love, in terms of first-time love, in terms of being a young adult, in terms of relationships with family. And I love books that make me think, that sort of spark a fire in my brain and lets me think about it a little more. I can't believe it's a young adult book that did this to me. So the thing about her writing is that you can tell that she herself is very curious about the world, and you can tell that she's introspective in that super curious way that only authors are. There's a lot of other artists, right? There are painters, there are sculptors, there are graphic designers, there's a whole bunch of artists. They introspect and they make something or they create something out of that introspection or out of a thought that comes to them. But it's so unique when a writer does it because they actually take this thought, let it simmer around their brain for a while, and then they string it into a bunch of words that make sense in the most unique way possible. And I feel like Nicola has this amazing style of using words. Oh my god, I love. Second, these excerpts that she keeps putting up, like these random facts that she keeps putting up, are so cool because to me it's like almost like the author stopped while she was writing the story and said, hey, wait a minute, I want to know more about the Korean American relationship with the African American hair industry. And so I'm going to go and research it, and you should know too because it's so freaking interesting. It's like she just literally stopped midway to do that, went away, looked it up, did a bunch of research, and came back and started writing. And that to me was really cool. The third thing that I really like about this book follows Natasha. She is someone who's super logical. She is someone who loves science. She is someone who believes that everything needs to be a fact for it to be believed. And then there's Daniel, who's the complete opposite. He believes in things like poetry and God and love and that kind of a thing. And Natasha just doesn't feel like those things exist. The chemistry between the two of them was so nice because I felt like it was so young adult. Like it took me back to my own first crushes or romances or dates. Even when you're older, for me at least, my first dates have so much been about the conversation. Like sitting for coffee and talking about random things like why we exist or stuff like that. So if you're not into that kind of stuff, it might irritate you, but for me it was super exciting. The fourth thing that I love, crazy immersive culture lesson that we get. There's so much about African history. She talks about African hair, what hair meant and what it denoted for Africans many centuries ago before they were brought over to America. It talks about how elaborate hairstyles meant a certain thing. It showed class to a certain degree. It talked about an emotion or a feeling, like if you were in mourning, your head would be dressed in a certain way. So all of these little culture sort of ins and outs that she does are so much fun. It makes for such a good read, you guys. The fifth and the last thing that I really want to talk about is she talks about immigration through the story of this book. I feel like so many of these conversations are so important in today's world given everything that's going on and all of the walls that are being built. She talks about how it feels to be an immigrant in a country that feels like an accepting country but not necessarily is. These kind of conversations are important through books, through stories today. Like immigration to me personally is such a weird concept because I feel like I've been born into a free world. I've always felt like why do borders exist, especially in today's age, right? Where we're all super connected to people all around the world, every corner of the world. You want to talk to somebody, they're right there. But then you can't go to their country. You can't live in their country. I feel like borders and immigrations are such a practical aspect of life. I understand it. But then in my mind, they're also super unfair, especially because I come from where I come from. I'm Indian, which means I hold an Indian passport. And it's ridiculous because every time I want to travel, the visa process takes me so long. I have to give you 29 million papers and I have to stay in perennial fear of will I get the visa? Will they reject me for whatever reason? And they reject you for really bizarre reasons. Like you are a single woman and you're of marriageable age. So you'll probably run away and live in my country and never go back. Not really. I like where I'm from. I don't want immigrant problems. Maybe it's too idealistic a thought, but I feel like we should all be allowed to live wherever we wanted to live. I just feel like it's so ridiculous that it's 2017 and we have to think about borders in this day and age. Go wherever you want, have fun, whatever. This book talks about a lot of very, very relevant subjects in the most beautiful way ever because it just seamlessly sort of goes through the story. So just go read this book. Comment below and tell me if you've read this book and how you felt about it. Also, let me know if there are book recommendations that you have for me or if you feel like you want to buddy read something together. Do share this video, do the subscription, the alarm bell, the whatever thing. And I will see you next time. Bye, ladies and gentlemen. So welcome from the 90s. Bye.